जय राधा माधव हरे।
जय राधा माधवा कुंज बिहारी।
जय गोपी जन वल्लभ गिरिवरधारी।
जय गोपी जन वल्लभ गिरिवरधारी।
यशोदानन्दन व्रज जनरञ्जन।
यशोरनन्दन व्रजनरञ्जन।
यमुनातीरावनचारी।
यमुनतीरा वनचारी।
जय राधा माधव कुञ्ज बिहारी।
जय राधा माधव कुञ्ज बिहारी।
हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे हरे। हरे राम 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 हरे हरे।
हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे हरे। हरे राम 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 हरे हरे।
हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे हरे। हरे राम 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 हरे हरे।
हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे हरे। हरे राम 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 हरे हरे।
हरे कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे हरे। हरे राम 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 हरे हरे।
हरे कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे हरे। हरे राम 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 हरे हरे।
जय गौरानीताय जय गौरानीताय जय गौरानीताय जय गौरानीताय।
जय गौरनिताय जय गौरनिताय जय गौरनिताय जय गौरनिताय।
जय प्रभुपदा जय प्रभुपदा जय प्रभुपदा श्रील प्रभुपदा।
जय प्रभुपदा जय प्रभुपदा जय प्रभुपदा जय प्रभुपदा।
निताय गौर हरि बोल हरि बोल हरि बोल निताय गौर हरि बोल।
नित्य गौर हरि बो नित्य गौर हरि बो।
जय जय ओम विष्णुपाद परमहंस परिव्राजकाचार्य अष्टोत्तर शत श्री श्रीमद् अभय चरणारविंद भक्ति वेदांत स्वामी महाराज श्रील प्रभुपाद की
जय
जय ओम विष्णुपाद परमहंस परिव्राजकाचार्य अष्टोत्तर शत श्री श्रीमद् भक्ति सिद्धांत सरस्वती गोस्वामी ठाकुर महाराज की
जय
अनंत कोटि वैष्णव वृंद की
जय
नामाचार्य श्री हरिदास ठाकुर की जय।
जय
प्रेम से कहो श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्त वृंद की
जय
श्री श्री राधा कृष्ण गोप गोपीनाथ श्याम कुंड राधा कुंड गिरी गोवर्धन की
जय
श्री वृंदावन धाम की
जय
श्री मायापुर धाम की
जय
पुरुषोत्तम क्षेत्र श्री जगन्नाथपुरी धाम की
जय
गंगा माई यमुना माई की जय।
जय
तुलसी देवी भक्ति देवी की जय।
जय
युग धर्म श्री हरिनाम संकीर्तन यज्ञ की
जय
जय। बृहद मृदंग की जय।
जय
समवेत भक्त वृंद की जय। All glories to assembled devotees, all glories
हरे
to assembled devotees, all
हरे
glories to assembled devotees, all glories to Shri Guru and Gauranga, all glories to Srila Prabhupada. Hare Krishna, dear devotees, I welcome you all on behalf of ISKCON Brisbane to our daily morning reading of Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam. I seek permission and blessings from Srila Prabhupada, my Guru Maharaj, and our entire Guru Parampara, so that they may bless me to speak something in glorification of Srimad Bhagavatam today. And I also seek blessings from all of you. Vansha kalpatarubhyascha kripa sindhubhya eva cha patitanam pavanebhyo vaishnavebhyo namo namah. Please Vaishnavas, forgive me, correct me if I um, make any mistakes or offenses. So we are reading from Canto 4, the creation of the fourth order, and now we are in the last chapter, chapter 31, titled Narad instructs the Prachetas. And it's a small chapter. It is chapter 31, and coincidentally, it has 31 shlokas also. So we are not too far from entering the fifth canto. So today we will read verse 25 and 26. Let's go straight to verse 25. Narayanam namaskritya naram chaiva narottamam devim saraswatim vyasam
to do
नष्टप्रायेषु भद्रेषु नित्यं भागवत सेवयां भगवति उत्तमश्लोके भक्तिर्भवति नैष्टिकी ॐ नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय
Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya
ॐ नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय
Om Namo
नमो
Bhagavate
भगवते
Vasudevaya
वासुदेवाय
ॐ नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय
Om Namo
नमो भगवते
Bhagavate Vasudevaya
वासुदेवाय
Let's recite verse 25. एतत्ते विहितं क्षत्तर
Etate Bihitam Chatta
यन्मां त्वं परिपृष्टवान्
Yanmam Tvam Pariprishtavan
प्रचेतसां नारदस्य
Prachetasam Naradasya
संवादं हरिकीर्तनम्
Samvadam Harikirtanam
एतत्ते विहितं क्षत्तर
Etate Bihitam Chatta
यन्मां त्वं परिपृष्टवान्
Yanmam Tvam Pariprishtavan
प्रचेतसां नारदस्य
Prachetasam Naradasya
संवादं हरिकीर्तनम्
Samvadam Harikirtanam
Any devotees would like to?
Etate Bihitam Chitta
एतत्ते विहितं क्षत्तर
Yanmam Tvam Pariprishtavan
यन्मां त्वं परिपृष्टवान्
Prachetasam Naradasya
प्रेक्षेता संतारितस्य
Samvadam Harikirtanam
संवादं
संवादं हरिकीर्तनम् एतत्ते वीतं शतर
एतत्ते
Etate
विहितं
Bihitam
क्षत्तर
Chitta
यन्मां त्वं परिप्रस्तवान्
यन्मां त्वं परिपृष्टवान्
चेतासं नारदस्या
प्रचेतसां नारदस्य
संवादं हरिकीर्तनम्
संवादं हरिकीर्तनम् Okay, let's move on to word. Etat,
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 these,
this,
is
they,
te,
unto you.
unto
unto
you.
you.
Abhihitam,
Abhihitam,
instructed.
instructed.
Kshataha,
Shataha,
O Vidura.
O Vidura.
Vidura,
Yat,
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 whatever.
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 Mam,
Ma,
Ma,
unto me.
unto me.
unto me.
Tvam,
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 you.
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 Pariprushtavan,
Pariprishtavan,
Prishtavan,
inquired.
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 Prachetasam,
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 of the Prachetas.
of
of
the
the
Prachetas.
Prachetas.
Naradasya,
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 of Narada.
of
of
Narada.
Narada.
Samvadam,
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 conversation.
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 Hari Kirtanam,
Hari
Hari Kirtanam,
Kirtanam,
describing the glories of the Lord.
describing
describing
glories
the
of the Lord.
glories of the Lord.
Translation and purport by Krishna Krupamurti, His loving devotees, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada ki Jai.
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 Please repeat with me. My dear Vidura,
My
My
dear
dear
Vidura,
Vidura,
I have told you
I have
I have told you
told you
everything you wanted to know
everything
everything you
you
wanted to
wanted
know
to know
about the conversation between Narad and the Prachetas.
about
the
the
conversation
conversation between
between
Narad
Narada
and
and the
Prachetas.
Prachetas.
The conversation describing the glories of the Lord.
The
The conversation
conversation describing
describing the
the glories
glories
of
of
the
the
Lord.
Lord.
I have related these as far as possible.
I
I
have
have related
related
this
this as
far
far
as
as
possible.
possible.
Purport by Srila Prabhupada. Please hear. Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam describes the glories of the Lord and his devotees. Because the whole subject matter is the glorification of the Lord, naturally, the glorification of his devotees automatically follows. We are also covering verse 26 today, so we will go to verse 26. I think I will recite, if we repeat this, it will be too long, so I will just recite verse 26 myself. Shri Shuka Uvacha य एष उत्तानपादो मानवस्यानुवर्णितः वंशः प्रियव्रतस्यापि निबोध नृपसत्तमा. Word to word. Shri Shuka Uvacha, Shri Sukdev Goswami said, Yaha, which, Eshaha, this dynasty, Uttanapadaha, of King Uttanapad, Manavasya, the son of Swayambhu Manu. Anuvarnitaha, described following the footprints of previous acharyas. Vanshaha, dynasty. Priyabratasya, of King Priyavrata. Api, also. Niboda, try to understand. Nrupa Sattam, O best of kings. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada ki Jai. Sukdev Goswami continued, O best of kings, King Parikshit, I have now finished telling you about the descendants of the first son of Swayambhu Manu, Uttanapad. I shall now try to relate the activities of the descendants of Priyavrat, the second son of Swayambhu Manu. Please hear them attentively. Purport. Dhruva Maharaj was the son of King Uttanapad. And as far as the descendants of Dhruva Maharaj or King Uttanapad are concerned, their activities have been described up to the point of the Prachetas. Now, Sri Sukdev Goswami desires to describe the descendants of Maharaj Priyavrat, the second son of Swayambhu Manu. Om Ajnanatimirandasya Gnananjana Shalakaya चक्षुरुन्मीलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः। श्रीचैतन्यमनोभीष्टं स्थापितं येन भूतले स्वयं रूपा कदा मह्यं ददाति स्वपदान्तिकम्। वन्देऽहं श्रीगुरो श्रीयुतपदकमलं श्रीगुरून् वैष्णवांश्च श्रीरूपं साग्रजातं सहगणा रघुनाथान्वितं तं सजीवं साद्वैतं सावधूतं परिजनसहितं कृष्णचैतन्यदेवं श्रीराधा कृष्णपादान् सहगणा ललिता श्रीविशाखान्वितांश्च हे कृष्ण करुणा सिन्धो दीनबन्धो जगत्पते गोपेश गोपिकान्त राधाकान्त नमोऽस्तुते। तप्तकाञ्चन गौराङ्गी राधे वृन्दावनेश्वरी वृषभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये। वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्य एव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। नमो विष्णुपादाय कृष्णप्रेष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदान्त स्वामिनिति नामिने। नमस्ते सरस्वते देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेष शून्यवादी पाश्चात्य देशधारिणे। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्त वृंद। हरे कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे। हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे। So verse 26, we have now reached to the conclusion of this chapter 31, nearly there. And it is also the conclusion of fourth canto. So it's a great milestone where we are. And until now, Vidur has been asking some questions. You know, he is a pure devotee. So his questions are very purposeful, very thoughtful. And, you know, they are on the highest level for the benefit of the whole humanity. So Vidur is asking, you know, and in response, Maitreya Rishi was narrating. And this conversation, this samvad between Narad and Prachetas, is coming to a pause now. It is nearly finished now about this topic. So if we go back, you know, really back, how this whole conversation between Narad Muni and Maitreya Rishi had started, then we have to go back right at the start of third canto. You know, third canto, first chapter. It started with Parikshit Maharaj asking Shukdev Goswami where and when Vidur had met Maitreya Rishi, and when they met, what did they discuss? So as we know, actually, after Vidur was insulted by Duryodhan, he left Hastinapur and he went on to pilgrimage, yatra, Tirth Yatra. And on that journey, first he met Uddhava. on the bank of Yamuna. And then he wanted to take instruction from Uddhava because he was intimate associate of Lord Krishna. So he stayed with Uddhava for a few days, but then Uddhava specifically directed him to Maitreya Rishi. He said, you go and approach Maitreya Rishi and hear from him. So then Vidur goes to Haridwar on the bank of river Ganga now, where Maitreya Rishi was staying. And out of his humility, he begins their conversation, their samvad with very common, very basic questions. He asks like, everyone in this world, they do fruitive activities. And their goal is to find happiness, but they never do. They never find happiness. They never get satisfaction. Rather, they get even more frustrated and more distressed. So Vidur asks Maitreya Rishi, my dear Maitreya Rishi, you please describe how common people should live so that they can get real happiness. And if we remember in the first canto, this is how Parikshit Maharaj also started asking his questions. So, we see that, Vidur is a pure devotee. He could have gone straight to the highest topics, the topics of his own level. But, he doesn't need answers to these basic questions. But by natural humility, for benefit of conditioned souls like us, he's first asking these basic questions. So it can help, ordinary people like myself. So, what we have seen in the entire third and fourth canto is that Vedurji he is drawing out Krishna Katha from Maitreya Rishi. In the beginning, he is asking very gentle, basic, accessible questions. So the answers can benefit the whole world. And Maitreya Rishi also patiently, he builds his answers by starting with the foundation, the tattva, the philosophy in the third canto. First of all, he clarifies the philosophy, how things are set up in this world and how the souls can transcend it. So first, he establishes that Krishna is the source of everything. He is the controller. He is been existing prior to creation, and creation happens because of his will. And at dissolution, everything merges back into him. So sarga, visarga, that all he describes. And then he describes that the creation of the universe, the Purusha expansions, and universal form, Lord Brahma's appearance, his prayers, time factor, modes of nature, and so on. So first of all, in answer to Vidura's questions, he narrates all these. So, we can stop thinking that this world is independent, or, he makes it clear that this world is not accidental. It is running, it is managed, it is governed by the Lord in a very controlled system, a system which is meant to reform us, the conditioned souls. And further, he gives examples like Varaha incarnations, so he shows how the Lord intervenes for his devotees and to bring order into, to bring the cosmic order. So, and later on, then he describes, in the third canto, later chapters, he describes through Lord Kapila's teaching to Devhuti, he describes Sankhya Yoga, the analysis of matter versus soul, and the path of bhakti. He shows that path of bhakti is the actual cure for the disease of material bondage. So Maitreya Rishi, in his answer to Vidura's question, firstly in third canto, he establishes the tattva, the philosophy, and then his answers continue in canto 4, where this philosophy gets substantiated. It gets proven, it gets verified by history, the historical examples, different examples of different kings and other characters, which show how devotees and kings, they succeed or they fail um, in their life, in their human life. So, firstly, in fourth canto, Maitreya Rishi describes by the example, firstly described by the example of Lord Shiva, Sati, and Daksha. He shows us how pride and offense can ruin one's spiritual life, and how devotion, how humility can protect it. So first he gives example of Daksha, the first son of Lord Brahma. And then he starts talking about another son of Lord Brahma, Swayambhuv Manu. And then Swayambhuv Manu, he has two sons, Uttanapad and Priyavrat. So he also had three daughters, Akuti, Devuti, and Prasuti. So Swayambhu Manu had 5 children, but anyways, Swayambhu Manu has two sons, Uttanapad and Priyavrat. So then Maitreya Rishi, one by one, he goes through the whole dynasty of first son Uttanapad. Uttanapad, his son Dhruva Maharaj, being neglected by father, he wanted a kingdom greater than that of his great-grandfather Lord Brahma. So basically, he had a material desire. He did intense sadhana. Purification happened. He got devotion and he got maturity. And he made his life successful. And then came Dhruva's son Utkal. He didn't want the throne. So then Dhruva's younger son Vatsar, he became the king. And then in the 13th chapter of 4th canto, Maitreya Rishi has quickly just listed several generations in Uttanpad's dynasty after that. And then in the same lineage comes King Anga, King Vena. And by their examples, Maitreya Rishi shows us how saintly leadership matters, how it works. And then King Vena's son. So that's that section comes where Vena's son Prithu Maharaj, the ideal king devotee, who demonstrates how a ruler can rule this kingdom as a service to the Lord and without exploiting his praja. So, like this, we reach chapter 24 of 4th canto, and then Prithu's son Vijitashwar, his other name is Antardhan. He became the emperor of the world. And then Antardhan and his second son Havirdhan. And his Havirdhan's other name is Barhishat, Prachin Barhishat. So then Prachin Barhishat, Narad Muni comes, he instructs him by allegory of King Puranjan. And that is a major, that is the heart teaching, the allegory of Puranjan, the teachings Narad Muni gives him through this allegory. That's the heart of our teaching of 4th canto, how the conditioned soul gets entangled and how to wake up from the bodily identification. And then this Prachin Barishat, he had 10 sons, Prachetas, and then their story is pretty fresh in our minds because those are the chapters we have been recently reading. So overall, what we have seen so far across cantos 3 and 4 is multiple generations of first son of Swayambhu Manu, King Uttanpad. And we have seen, how many great devotee examples, they have this example, they have collectively taught us that bhakti is doable, bhakti is workable in every ashram, in every situation. Like we see Vidura, he is a devotee, he is a renunciant now, he is a grihastha, but now he has renounced. Narad Muni is a renunciant. Uddhava is intimate associate of the Lord. Maitreya Rishi is a sage, he is a teacher. Devhuti, she is a grihastha, she is a householder disciple of Supreme Lord who has appeared as her own son, Lord Kapila. Then kings, Prithu Maharaj, Dhruv Maharaj, they are rulers, administrators. And Lord Shiva, he is a very, he is very powerful cosmic personality. So they are all in different ashramas, different statuses, different stages of their life. So, we have seen all these positive examples, how establishing the supremacy of bhakti. And then throughout these canto 3 and 4, we have also seen negative examples. Like, we have learned about the unfavorable attitudes in the bhakti from the mistakes of some characters like Daksha, Suruchi, Vena, Indra, and Prachin Barishat, he's the first part of his life. So we have seen, apart from these positive and negative examples, we've also seen very beautiful prayers of pure devotees that inspire us, like, Dhruv Maharaj's prayers, Prithu Maharaj's prayer, Lord Shiva's prayer, Rudra Gita. So they gave us very high aspirations for our own bhakti. And in this journey, we have seen many transformations also. We have witnessed many transformations, positive transformations, because, some devotee, some pure devotee has intervened in their life, like, Narad Muni for Prachimvari, or Lord Shiva for Prachetas, and again Narad Muni for Dhruva Maharaj. So all that, all this, it is adding to the glory of bhakti. So, because we are at the end of fourth canto, Shukdev Goswami is now wrapping up that conversation, that part of conversation. So now I will read the translation of verse 26 again. Shukdev Goswami continued, O best of kings, King Parikshit, I have now finished narrating about the descendants of the first son of Swayambhu Manu, Uttanapad. I shall now try to relate the activities of the second descendants of Priyavrata, the second son of Swayambhu Manu. Please hear them attentively. So we saw throughout third and fourth canto, Maitreya Rishi had described Uttanapad's dynasty in very, very detail. But his brother Priyavrat, here in fourth canto, Maitreya Rishi covers him in one verse only, tomorrow's verse, where he says that Priyavrat also received instructions from Narad Muni, just like his brother, and after that he still continued his duty as a ruler. He ruled the entire world very nicely. He enjoyed his material possessions fully until he got old, and then at the end of his life, he divided his property among his sons, and then he also attained a position. And then, he also attained the success of his human life. He could also go back to Godhead. He could also go back home, back to Godhead. And that is where, from Priyavrat, that is where fifth canto starts. Parikshit will ask the very first question in first canto, like, if Priyavrat is such self-realized devotee, then why would he remain in the grihastha, in the householder, in the in administrative life? And then the answer to that, how he accepted the rule only because Lord Brahma had ordered, and he was a devotee and he wanted to serve another devotee, Lord Brahma, and that's why he managed his kingdom. And but even while he was fully engaged in his duty, he kept his mind in the Lord's lotus feet. So that is what is coming soon. I gave you like a teaser of the fifth canto. The second son of Swayambhu Manu, Priyavrat, he will become the major example for us. It will become the example of Yukta Vairagya in action, doing one's duty for Krishna under the authority. He did under the authority of Lord Brahma, but he did his duty without losing his devotion. And how he ruled extraordinarily, and then his son Agnidra, then his son King Nabhi, and then will come Lord Rishabdev, and then Bharat Maharaj. So very interesting fifth canto also. That is what is coming up. Like this Vidura and Maitreya Rishi's Samvad, their dialogue, it has been flowing through third canto and the fourth canto. And Padma Puran describes this third and fourth canto as the thighs of the Lord. So that means that what we have been reading in third and fourth canto is not just information, it is darshan through Shravanam. And honestly, I can speak for myself. I haven't earned it. I'm sitting here only because Srila Prabhupada has carried this Bhagavatam to us, word by word, verse by verse. So today, if we have any access to the life of all these devotees, is because of if we have access to the thighs of the Lord. It's because of Srila Prabhupada's mercy and nothing else. Otherwise, how could we enter into such exalted topics? So all glories to Srila Prabhupada. And if we go back to verse 25, Srila Prabhupada rightly says in the purport for verse 25 that Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam describes the glories of the Lord and his devotees. Because the whole subject matter is the glorification of the Lord, naturally the glorification of his devotees automatically follows. Because Krishna and his unalloyed devotees, they are inseparable. They cannot be separated. Krishna says, I reside there where my devotees are singing my glories. He said, Naham vasami vaikunte yoginam hridayeshu vam gayanti yatra madbhakta tatra tisthami narada. So Krishna says, I reside there where my devotees are singing my glories. I don't reside in Vaikuntha. I don't reside in the hearts of yogis. So Krishna is especially very, very pleased when his devotees are honored, they are glorified. And Bhagavatam is, when before we start our Bhagavatam recitation, we always sing Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya. So Bhagavatam isn't just saying Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya, We say Nasta Prayeshu Abhadreshu Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya. So Bhagavatam isn't only saying that you do Bhagavat Seva, you do serve the devotees as an etiquette, but it is showing that bhakti is transmitted, bhakti is awakened through the Bhagavatas, through the devotees. So serving them, hearing from them, having their association, all these activities, they nourish our own bhakti. And through this Bhagavat Sevaya, Vaishnav Seva, our own devotion becomes practical. And that's why, when Srila Prabhupada has translated the word Bhagavat, he gives us both. He says the book Bhagavat and the person Bhagavat. And the book Bhagavat itself is going to great lengths in glorifying the person Bhagavatas, the devotees. And that is what we have been witnessing in third and fourth canto. And throughout Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam, we will. So, Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam, as Prabhupada is saying, Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam is a scripture whose subject matter is Krishna's glorification of his Nama, Rupa, Guna, Lila. So, because the topic is Krishna's glorification, that is why naturally it will be filled with devotees' lives, their prayers, their qualities, because that is how Krishna wants to be approached, and that is what Krishna wants to be glorified, glories of his devotees. So glorifying devotees means glorifying the Lord, and glorifying the Lord means glorifying the devotee. And we know the topmost devotee is Radharani. And that is why Prabhupada used to say that everywhere Radharani's name is first. Why? Because nobody can be better devotee than Radharani. And as soon as Radharani's name comes, then Krishna becomes more pleased. So that is the way, if we glorify the devotees, if we glorify the characters of the devotee, before the Lord, then he is more pleased than when we glorify him directly. And another devotee very dear to the Lord is Arjuna. And we see in Bhagavad Gita, Krishna is so eager for Arjuna to capture the glories. He says to Arjuna in chapter 11, 33rd verse, he says, Tasmat tava uttishta yasho labhasva jitra shatrun bhungshvarajyam samruddham maya eva ete nihata purvameva nimitta matram bhavasavya. So Krishna tells Arjuna, Tasmat tava uttishta, now get up, so get up and fight, prepare to fight, win the glories, Yasho Labhasva, Jitva Shatrun, conquer your enemies, and Bhungshva Rajyam Samruddham, you enjoy a flourishing kingdom. because maya eva ete nihata purvam eva. Everything is Nihita Purva, it has been decided already. The kings on the opposite side, the soldiers on the opposite side, they will lose. It has been decided. They have already been put to death by my arrangement. And you, O Savyasachi, Nimitta Matram, Bhavya Savyasachi, you be the instrument in my hands. So, what is destined is that what is Krishna's will is that whether Arjun fights or not, this will happen. But if he fights, he will be acting as Krishna's instrument. So this is the verse I was thinking of. It obviously shows how Krishna likes to bring glory to his devotees. Krishna can do all the work himself. He doesn't even have to work. He can accomplish anything just by his will without any effort. He can, he can create universes just by exhaling. As he's lying down, he's exhaling, and the universes are being created as Lord Vishnu. So, everything for Krishna is a piece of cake, but he allows his devotees to shine because he wants to bring them glory. Yasho Labasva. He wants that for Arjun. And Yasha, Yasha in a Sanskrit means fame. And then we may think that, the desire to be famous is like one of the byproducts of illusion maya. So why is Krishna interested in bringing something which is material to his devotee? Fame is a result of outside opinion. If others who are also in illusion themselves, they think highly of a devotee, then why is it important for Krishna? Shouldn't Krishna put devotion? Devotion should be pure. It should be free from any material influence. So why does Krishna want his devotees to be glorified, to be famous? We may have a question like that. But see, if devotee becomes famous for their devotion, then what will be the effect on society? Society, we will have a good example to follow. So, if there are examples, if there are no examples, historical examples like Arjun, Prahlad, Hanuman, Bhima, if there are no devotee examples like that, then it would be bit difficult to inspire people to take up Bhakti Yoga. It is not something that a devotee needs. Fame is not something that pure devotee of Krishna needs. It is not something that Krishna needs, but it is us. We are the ones who need this glorification of devotees. We need these famous examples to get inspired and to continue to get inspired to stay on that path. So, we need to see that Bhakti Yoga is not simply a theoretical exercise. It's not just something we just sit in the chair, armchair philosophy or something for, lounge discussion. Bhakti, Prabhupada says Bhakti is a science. So, we see in the schools, arts and commerce subjects, they are theoretical subjects. So the exams are written sitting inside the classroom. But science has two components. Science exam will have theory and practical exam. We write theory exam in classroom and we give practical exam in the lab. So whatever theories we learn in the science books, they are to be demonstrated. They have to be proven in the lab. And then we pass the exam for science. So bhakti is like that. In the laboratory of the world, what we read, the theories, the philosophies, whatever we read in the book Bhagavat, devotee Bhagavats are the proof of these theories. So because Krishna cares for us, so he goes this extra mile to increase the fame of his devotees, because we can make progress towards him through the devotee. We can make more progress by approaching him through his devotees than we can by approaching him directly. because Krishna's devotees, they are his representatives. They are very powerful, and if they have some fame, then it helps us in capturing our attention. So it is us who needs this glorification of the devotees. And in fact, in the devotees' presence alone, they can bring perfection to our spiritual life. And all we have to do is um, we just have to hear about these devotees on a daily basis, and then we can be free from illusion. So this is Krishna's arrangement, these examples and their lives and the thinking, the thought process that's going through this character's mind. Krishna is not just satisfied that Prahlad and Dhruva and Arjun, they have come closer, they have reached close to him. He wants us also to go towards him. And that's why he's so expert. He's such an expert marketing man that he is marketing his bhakti through these models. He's marketing his bhakti to us. Remember, because at the end of the day, we know Vyasadeva is Krishna only. He is Krishna Sahityik Avatar, his literary incarnation. So whatever is being narrated in Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam to us through this third and fourth canto and all throughout the Bhagavatam, whatever is being narrated to us by Srila Vyasadeva, by Srila Prabhupada, is because Krishna wants us to hear all this. Because Krishna is Bhakta Vatsal. Bhakti is such a powerful, such a transcendental method. Because that's why bhakti surpasses all other paths. Krishna is called Bhakta Vatsal. It's not called Gnani Vatsal, or he's not called Yogi Vatsal. He is also always described as Bhakta Vatsal because he is more inclined towards bhakti. He is more inclined towards his devotees. He is Vatsal. Vatsa in Sanskrit means calf. So in Sanskrit, calf, the cow's offspring is called calf. And also in Sanskrit, when someone very dear is being addressed, especially a son or daughter, then also the word Vatsa is used. So, what can be the possible reason? What can be the connection between a calf and Krishna? Why the parental affection a cow has for the calf? Why is it called Vatsalya? And why is that word used for Krishna? So, if you want to understand that connection, we need to understand the behavior of the cows. Cows are said to be the most hygienic living beings. If they step on some grass, they don't even eat that grass if they have stepped on it. So cows are said to maintain very high standards of cleanliness and purity. And so much so that, cows are called the abode of Sri Mahalakshmi. So when cow gives birth, then the calf, the little one, comes out and it is covered with blood and placenta and urine and all that. So calf falls on the ground and on the ground, it's already covered in some sticky substances, falls on the ground, gets covered in more dirt and mud and germs and bacteria and whatnot. So all over, calf is looking very dirty. But then what we see, that is the greatest display of love and affection a parent can show. So the mother cow licks the whole calf clean. The mother who is exhausted after giving birth, cow, normally if there is some dust on the cow, she will bring her tail and she will shun off the dirt. The same cow who puts the purity above everything else. She disregards all her standards for her child. She licks off all the dirt, all the yucky substances from the calf's body. And calf has no strength, just came out. So calf gets so much solace in that act of mother cow licking him. So calf is called Vatsa and cow is Vatsal. And that is why Lord is called Bhakta Vatsal, because Vatsalyam means the affection mother cow showers on her calf. And that is what Krishna has for us. He is the purest of pure. He is Pavitra Nam Pavitram Yaha. He is the one who can purify even those who are already purified. Just by remembering his name, we get purified. We say, Om Apavitra Pavitro Va Sarvavasta Gato Piva Yasmaret Pundarikaksha Sah Bhaya Shuchicha. So by remembering his name, by internally, externally, we get Shuchi, we get purified. He is the supreme personality of Godhead. He is the one who is, who's the one who is glorified by the Vedas and Puranas, and yet he just leaves everything, and he sits in the temple for us. He comes and sits in our heart, in our home. So that quality of Krishna is known as Vatsalyam. So just like the cow licks and removes all the dirt and all the other dirty material from the calf's body, similarly, Krishna's love for his devotees is such that he ignores all the dirty coverings that we have, all our faults, all our weaknesses. He knows them, he sees them, but he just ignores them. And instead, he magnifies whatever little devotion, whatever little emotion we have for him. And that is why Krishna is called Bhakta Vatsal. And he says in 11th canto, he says when he is talking to Uddhava, he says that yes, when you narrate my pastimes, when you glorify me with firm faith, you worship me, yes, I appreciate it. Yes, I'm satisfied with that. But um, Mother Bhakta Puja Bhyadika, worship of my devotee is superior. So he says, I like it more when my devotees are worshipped, when they are glorified. So he says, worship of pure devotee is superior than worship of me myself. And in ninth canto, Amrish Maharaj episode, he says, I'm in control of my devotees. Ninth canto, fourth chapter, 63rd verse, he says, Aham bhakta paradhino, hi aswatantra iva dvija, sadhu bhilkrastharadayo, bhaktair bhakta jana priyaha. He says, O Dvija, O Brahmana, he's addressing to Durvasa Muni, of course. He says, I am not independent at all. I am completely under the control of my devotees. I am caught. Sadhuvir grastaradayo. I am caught. Only within the course of sadhus, my devotees, I am caught. And what to speak of my devotees? Bhaktair bhakta janapriyaha. Even those who are devotees of my devotees, they are very dear to me. Because he says, I like to sit on the throne in the heart of my devotee, because there is no one else, there is nothing else there. My devotees are completely devoid of any other desires, any material desires. So the thing is, as we know, devotion, devotion Rupa Goswami has describes is Anya Bhilashita Shunyam. Devotees don't want anything else but bhakti. So when even Krishna comes as a devotee, that is what he demonstrates for us. Shikshastakam verse 4, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, he says, Na dhanam na janam na sundarim kavitam va jagadisha kamaye mama janmani janmani ishwari bhavtad bhakti rahaitu ketvari. I do not want wealth, I do not want followers, beautiful women. I don't want glorification for myself. All I want is causeless devotional service, Mama Janmani Janmani, birth after birth. That is all I want. So that's the heart of it. Devotees, they do not want to be glorified. Devotees do not have any desire for glories or rewards. They only want bhakti. So pure bhakti is desireless. It has no agenda. Rupa Goswami says, Anyavilashita Shunyam, bhakti is free from any other desires. In Bhagavatam 1 to 6, Bhagavatam also says bhakti is ahaituki apratihata. The Savai Pumsa Paro Dharma, the highest dharma is bhakti to Adhokshaja, Krishna, and it's supposed to be ahaituki, causeless, and apratihata, uninterrupted, constant. And that is what gives the ultimate satisfaction to the soul. So, if devotee doesn't want fame, praise, or even liberation, they just want service and love for Krishna. But because Krishna is so glorious, anyone who serves him, anyone who goes near him, or his devotees, that person automatically gets glorified. And that's a byproduct. It was never their goal. Um, I'll read something what Srila Prabhupada has written in one of the purports. He says the expert spiritual master knows the art of utilizing everything to glorify the Lord, and therefore, under his guidance, the whole world can be turned into the spiritual abode by the divine grace of the Lord's servant. So, Srila Prabhupada himself is the best example of this, as you know, he could so wonderfully utilize the artistic talents of newcomers, Western background people who had no idea, what they were singing, what they were painting, but their ability to sing, their ability to dance, their ability to cook, their ability to carve, their ability to stitch, language skills, typing skills, editing skills, whatever they had. Srila Prabhupada so beautifully, expertly engaged everything to glorify Krishna, to build temples, to carve the deities, to paint for his books and paint in his temples, and so on. The list is endless. So, by his expertise and purity, Srila Prabhupada could give Krishna to the whole world, and he engaged millions of souls even after he has gone. It is by his potency that even after so many years of him going, we are still engaged in glorification of the Supreme Lord. He didn't do anything else. He only glorified Krishna wherever he went. And actually, nothing else is needed also, for the Srila Prabhupada, whatever time he stayed in the Western world or Vrindavan or wherever he went, he didn't do anything else other than glorification of Krishna. And now today we see how much Srila Prabhupada is glorified. Every day at 7:30 a.m. in every temple, there is arti going on. There is dhoop and ghee lamp and flowers being offered to Srila Prabhupada, and obeisances. Everyone is paying obeisances to Srila Prabhupada, and throughout the planet, every longitude and latitude, we have temples, and the globe moves. So the time changes. Right now, it is 8:28 a.m. here in the morning, but somewhere it would be 7:30 p.m. at night, and there will be there will be his glorification going on. Somewhere there will be 7:30 a.m. in the morning, and his puja is going on. So Srila Prabhupada, even today, he is worshipped, he is glorified. And so many living entities are still today bowing down before him. So, we can imagine this glorification that Srila Prabhupada is getting. He never claimed that I should be worshipped. He never said that I am Krishna or, I'm a pure devotee. But he just said that I am servant of his servants. So that is the sign of a pure devotee. Devotee does not want glorification for themselves. All they want is the capacity to glorify him. In Mukundwala Sutra, first verse, Kulashekar Alvar, he prays that Shri Vallabheti Varadeti Daya Pareti Bhakta Priyeti Bhavalundhana Kovideti नाथेति नागशयनेति जगन्निवासे आलापितं प्रतिदिनं कुरु मां मुकुन्द. Kulshekar Alvar says, "Oh, Mukunda, I don't want anything else, but just give me the capacity. Alapitam pratidinam. So just give me the capacity that pratidinam, every day, all the time, I can alap, I can sing your glories, because that is what devotees want, always glorifying the Lord, and in singing His glories, alapitam pratidinam kuruma mukunda, that gives so much ecstasy. The joy one gets when one sings a verse in glorification of the Lord. That, oh, my tongue would be utilized for His glorification. So we should always pray just for the capacity to glorify the Lord lovingly. Because, as it said in Bhagavatam 10th canto, that is the right utilization of our tongue and our right, our body. Parikshit Maharaj says, that verse, Sava gayatasya gunan gunite karau cha tatkarma karau manascha Smared vasantam stirajangameshu shrunoti tat punya katha sakarna. So the actual speech is the one that sings the glories of the Lord. The real hands are those that do activity, the service of Lord. The mind is real mind when it remembers the Lord. And sees the Lord in everything, sthira jangam, everything moving, non-moving. And the karanam, the real ears are the ones that are engaged in hearing the punya katha, the glories of the Supreme Lord. So engaging, when a devotee does that, engages their bodily limbs in glorification of the Lord. That is what devotee does, and that is how devotees also are glorified. Even and what to speak of humans, even Gajendra, he is an animal, but he is even eternally celebrated, because at that crucial moment when he was caught in the mouth of the alligator. That moment he took shelter of the Lord and he glorified him, and the Lord immediately mounted Garuda and arrived to rescue him. And Lord showed that when a devotee cries sincerely, the Lord responds. So Gajendra is an example that Lord doesn't measure our bhakti by externals. Bhakti is available. Bhakti is accessible for every living being. And whoever glorifies the Lord sincerely, they themselves become glorious, because they are coming in connection with the supreme glorious personality. And we see in Bhagavatam that glorifying Krishna purifies the glorifier. First canto, second chapter, Shronvata Swakatha Krishna Punya Shravana Kirtanam Hridayantosti Abhadrani Vidunoti Suhatsatam. So Krishna becomes the transcendental sweeper and cleanses the heart of the one who is hearing his messages. So Bhagavatam, through different examples, repeatedly teaches us that hearing his glories, chanting his glories, it purifies and makes one, as a byproduct, makes one famous in the best way, as a famous as a servant of the Lord. So if we there are many examples. We are coming towards the end of our class, so I will conclude here. Today's Nrsimha Caturdasi, appearance day of Lord Nrsimhadev, and on today's Tithi, the Shukla Paksha Caturdasi of Vaishakha, that is the Tithi when Lord Nrsimhadev appeared from that very pillar that Hiranyakashipu had hit, and he descended on the earth to fulfill the words of his intimate devotee Prahlad. So on this day we fast until dusk, and those who can remain without water can fast nirjala. But overall we do austerity, we chant extra, we fast. Even Lord Nrsimhadev himself in one of the Puranas, I think Padma Purana, I read this morning only, but I forgot. Nrsimhadev himself talks about, he tells Prahlad how he got a devotion, how Prahlad got devotion, what he was in his previous birth. So Nrsimhadev narrates that long ago there was a very learned Brahmana in Avantipur. His name was Basu Sharma. He was very pious, always engaged in different Vedic rituals. And he had a wife, Sushila, and she was very chaste and a very pious lady. And both of them, they had 5 sons. The first 4 sons, they were very righteous, scholarly, dutiful, always following their father. But the fifth one, the youngest one, Nrsimhadev tells Prahlad that you were born as their youngest son, fifth son, and your name was Vasudev, but you were completely opposite to your 4 brothers, your father, and your mother. You used to pay visit to prostitutes. And you had no good deeds, but luckily on this Tithi, you had fasted only once, and as a result of that, you attained uh, such devotion unto me. So fasting on this day, Nrsimha Caturdasi, is very, very beneficial. So we look forward to get together this evening to celebrate this great festival and hear about the glories of bhakti, the power of bhakti, and the glories of Bhakta Prahlad. And that will surely please Nrsimhadev. We pray to Lord Nrsimhadev that please remove the demons in my heart. Please give me fearlessness in chanting and service. And most importantly, as Prahlad Maharaj says, that, oh Lord, I saw you. Now, what else do I need? But if at all you want to grant me a benediction, then, because Lord Nrsimhadev kept insisting that Prahlad, please ask for something. I've come for you to protect you. Then Prahlad said that, oh Lord, if you really want to give me something, I request you to put me in touch with your pure devotees and let me serve them as a sincere servant. So that is our greatest opulence. A Sangha of devotees, and we look forward to have your Sangha this evening. So I'll pause here. Please, if you have any realizations, comments, or questions, chastisement, please feel free to unmute your mic and share with all of us. Hare Krishna.
Thank you. Hare Krishna, Bhavamayi. Very nice class. Thank you very much. And also, today we are going to celebrate Nrsimha Caturdasi and Prahlad Maharaj, who is the dearest and very exalted devotee of Nrsimha Dev. And so we are going to hear about Prahlad Maharaj today, and who else is more important for us is Prahlad Maharaj as a little boy, and so much love and so much compassion from all the sufferings. You know how even his father, who did so much, to trouble him and kill him, and ultimately he requests Nrsimha Dev to protect his father. And the Nrsimha Dev said that you don't even have to ask me, even touching him, he's already, been excused, or he has been already. And he also said that it's not just your father, the 21 generations will be also delivered. So such a nice thing that even there is one devotee in the family, and his whole 21 generations are also delivered if there is one devotee. So it's so nice that we can remember this. Bhagavatam is actually all the pastimes of Lord, and the devotees itself is giving us hope that even if somebody before us has been a devotee, and it's their mercy that we are in Krishna consciousness. We see our family, like in my personal life, I've seen my husband's family, in Krishna consciousness, and it's because of their mercy that we came into Krishna consciousness. So the devotees are very compassionate, and that's what we need also to follow the devotees who have done so much for us, and we should also be compassionate to other people who are new in Krishna consciousness. Thank you very much again. Hare Krishna and happy Nrsimha Caturdasi to all the devotees. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Mataji. Thank you for such a nice conclusion and inspiring us.
Hare Krishna, Bhavamayi, Mataji, what a lovely class. Honestly, so good. And I really appreciate the way you put our class into context. You know, I often, clearly I'm not from a Hindu background, so sometimes I get lost in Sastra. Bible studies, oh, I can nail that, no problem. I was brought up with it. So I often get lost in who's talking to who, at which part, at which point, are we remembering such and such? And just the way you so swiftly gave context to where we're at today in Sastra, and even just reminding us about the cantos being representative of the Lord's thighs. Just a lovely class, Mataji. Thank you very much. Haribol.
All glories to Srila Prabhupada, Mataji. Nothing, not a single word from my own brain. All Srila Prabhupada.
Hare Krishna. I just want to add something. In Chaitanya Charitamrita, the Vasudev Datta, he is actually the incarnation of Prahlad Maharaj. I was listening to the class yesterday only from my Guru Maharaj, and he was just saying that Prahlad Maharaj is also actually the leader of the devotees. And then he mentioned, and I read then Vasudev Datta in Chaitanya Charitamrita chapter 15, and he's saying that to the Lord, that he's praying that let all the sins of all the people fall on my head. And Chaitanya Mahaprabhu says, you don't have to do that. They are all already liberated. So this is the compassion nature of Vasudev Datta, which is incarnation of Prahlad Maharaj. Thank you very much. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Mataji. Thank you for sharing that from Chaitanya Charitamrita. All right. So we'll conclude here. Granthra Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam Mahapuran ki jai.
Jai.
Jagat Guru Srila Prabhupada ki
Pad
jai.
ki
Jai.
jai. Har Grace
Har Grace
Bhavamayi
Bhavamayi
ki
Mataji ki
jai.
jai.
All glories to Srila Prabhupada. Hare Krishna. All
Hare
glories to
Krishna,
Hare
Hare
Krishna.
Krishna, Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Mataji.